Hello students, in this lecture of economics, we are going to discuss about market structure. Here we are going to first deal with the perfect competition. The objective of this session is to make you understand about the market concept and the perfect competition. Now, the first thing that we are going to understand here is the term market. What is market? The term market refers to a system by which the buyer and seller for the commodity come and interact with each other. They come in touch with one another and make the sale and purchase possible for the exchange of the commodity, right? So basically, traditionally we used to say it is a place where the number of buyers and seller come and interact with each other. But now the concept of market has been, it has widened up because we also have, it is now a system where we can bring the seller and the purchaser together to make the sale and purchase possible, since we did even in the case of the online marketing, right? So when we talk about the market system, when we talk about the marketing, so when we talk about the market are classified on the basis of number one, area. They are also being classified on the basis of time element, and then we can say they're also classified on the basis of a competition. So if we just talk about these three things, now the first, if we talk about the area, so on the basis of the area, if we talk about the market, we say the market can be a local market, it can be a local market, it can be a national market, it can be a national market, or it can also be an international market, right? So basically when we talk about, so the other kind of the market that we define is according to the time period. So when we say the market according to the time period, then we say that the market is classified on the basis of, we say, a very short period market, right? We can say a short period market, or we can say a long period market, right? Similarly, this is completely based on the time period, and similarly we divide the market according to the competition. If we say about under the perfect competition, we say in the competition, so the market can be classified as an perfect competition, it can be classified as an imperfect competition market, right? So perfect competition and imperfect competition market, so these are basically being decided on the basis of a competition in the market. So these are the kind of the market that we come across. Now what is perfect competition? Now when we talk about the perfect competition is a market structure where we have the characteristics like homogeneity of a product, that we say that the perfect competition is a market where there are large number of the buyers and sellers trading with each other, having an homogeneous product into it. So we basically, for defining the perfect competition, we are going to discuss about their characteristics. So first, large number of buyers and sellers that come into the market. So there are, in the perfect competition, there are large number of the buyers and the sellers in the market interacting with each other. They all are trading with a homogeneous product. Homogeneous product means that the consumer gets the same products from wherever he purchases. As a result, there will be only one price in the all over market. Then all firms are price takers. Why do we say that all the firms are the price takers? We say that the firms are price takers because firms are the small part of a complete industry. So what is the difference between the firm and the industry? So when we say the difference between a firm and the industry, we say firm is a little, it is a part of the industry. If we say Honda, so Honda is a firm, but it is a part of an automobile industry, right? So that is the difference between the industry and the firm. So the price all over are being defined by automobile industries, and the firms like Honda takes up the prices. That is what we say, that is what we mean by saying that all firms are the price taker. Then we say the market share has no influence. Market share has no influence on the price. Why? Because every firm is very small to affect the industry price. That is why the market share of any firm cannot influence the the price in the industry. Then the buyers have the complete perfect information about the product and the prices that has been charged. Then we say there is a perfect mobility of our resources. Factors of production will move from one production to another easily. This is also useful for a free entry and exit of the market. Then we come to the next one, that we say that firms can anytime enter and go out of the market. If they feel, any firm, if they feel that they are incurring losses, they need not to ask permission from anybody. They can come anytime in the market. They can go anytime when they are having losses. They can leave the market. There's another component that we say the absence of the transportation cost. We also say that in this there is a absence of the transportation cost. If we say this, so under perfect market we say the costs should not be added in the price. If the transport costs are added to the goods are available in the fewer prices at a near markets, and they are available at a higher price in the distance market, but it is not there. So what we see, that the prices are the same, so transportation cost is absent, because they all are dealing in the same price, as the prices are being decided by the industry. So these are the basic characteristics that we find under the perfect competition. So we moving forward, the key points that we have understood under the perfect competition is: one, that perfect competition is an ideal type of a market structure where all the producer and the consumer have full and systematic information about the market. No transaction cost, where there are large number of the producers and the consumer competing with each other. First key point. Second, the perfect competition is theoretically the opposite of the monopolistic competition. This we will discuss in the future. Next, we say that since all the real market exists outside the plane of the perfect competition model, if we talk about the perfect competition, we are dealing with this, but in actual life, we do not find perfect competition. But ideally, we all want that it should be like a perfect competition. That is why, although it is not prevailing in the the real world, but still we take this into the consideration while discussing all the market structure, because that is an ideal model for a market structure, and is a kind of a condition in the market, the model of a condition of the market which is being appreciated by every one of us as a useful tool on understanding the world's market, right? That is why it has been given so much of an advantage or importance. As always the case with the model, our purpose is to understand the way things work, not to describe them, right? So what is perfect? If we talk about the real world example about the perfect competition, I've already told you that in real world we do not have perfect competition. But still, if we just talk about this, a near answer which is a near example which is near the perfect competition is the market and the services in the agriculture sectors are the best example for this. Agriculture sectors, governments, basically if we say that how, if they are in the perfect competition, they are a very good example of a perfect competition, but still they are near the perfect competition, not actual perfect competition. What is the reason behind it? The basic reason is that we cannot, because we cannot call them as in perfect competition, because they are deteriorated, the distort. The government intervention made in these markets, like in agriculture market through mandis and all, that mechanism that is working through the government distorts the market mechanism of the perfect competition. That is why we do not say that it is a perfect competition market. So perfect competition and non-price action, if we talk about this, we say that the perfect competition is a non-price action. Why? I've already told you that in perfect competition, there is no price competition. Because, and secondly, what we say, if we are adding on, the cost to our product by making advertisements or other services, providing and warranty and all, all these things, if we add on, if we give a value added services or through advertisement, if we want to popularize our product in the market, then only one thing that we are going to add is to the loss of your organization. Because here we say that it is a kind of a competition where everything is there in the market and there is no difference in the price. So consumers are coming and they are buying the things, whatever they find in the market. So advertisement is not actually required, and if you are making advertisement, then it is only working towards the losses to your company, because whatever expenditure you are making in advertisement, that will only add to the cost of your product. So non-price action for the entire industry may, however, not be it may and may not be useful. Like if we talk about this, so if we talk about the perfect competition on non-price action, so what do we mean by this? Whenever we talk about perfect competition, we say that it is a non-price competition market. Why? Because the prices are being determined by the industries and firms are taking that prices. So the expenditure that we make in the form of an advertisement or by providing extra warranty or any other value-added services under the perfect competition has no mean. It is not at all necessary under the perfect competition, because firms can already sell anything that they have at the going price which are prevailing in the market. And if they are incurring any extra cost towards providing, towards advertising their product or towards providing warranty for their product or any other expenditure they are incurring, that will only make that firm unprofitable, because that will be adding to their cost. So non-price action for the entire industry may, however, be useful. See, when we talk about a single firm, we say that it is not profitable. But as an industry as a whole, if they are making, an advertisement, or if they are making, non-price action, whatever action to promote their product they are making, that may be beneficial for the entire industry, but may not be for the firm. For an example, if we just talk about a milk producer, a single milk producer firm cannot possibly influence the consumption of a milk at a large. We know that. And need not to have any advertising. But an association of a milk producer or a large milk distributor may, however, be in a position to use the advertisement effectively. So, when we talk about perfect competition, if we have a kind of an organization which is dealing for all the firms in the industry, then that do not remain as the perfect competition, that it becomes like a monopoly kind of a situation, or an oligopoly market where we have a few sellers, where we have a number of sellers and working under a organization as an industry. So what we see in a perfect competition, if an organization, if a complete industry is taking all these actions, then it may be profitable under the perfect competition. But if a single firm is doing it, it will not be profitable. So I think that is all about this. So thank you so much.